What's up, lore masters? Hey, if you want to take lore to the next level, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Let's take a look at the First Order. Let's just get into it. The First Order, also known simply as Order, would be the government to rise from the ashes of the Galactic Empire. The Galactic Empire was ultimately defeated at the Battle of Jakku, which resulted in the signing of the Galactic Concordance by Mas Amedda. The Galactic Concordance was an overreaching treaty that effectively dismantled the Empire as an entity. This would not be taken well by many within the former Imperial war machine. Many scientists, nobles, and warlords would flee to the unknown regions outside the grasp of the New Republic prosecution and begin to rebuild. The fleeing defeated elements of the Galactic Empire would rely on mapping information of the unknown regions that had been provided by Grand Admiral Thrawn, and other search probes that had been sent out by the Emperor. They would use these maps to conquer and colonize planets within the unknown regions, forming the First Order. Largely based on the principles of the Galactic Empire, the First Order would be as draconian as its former government. While military assets of the First Order were rebuilding in the unknown regions, many former Imperials would integrate into the New Republic. This would create divisions within the democracy as democratic loyalists to the ways of the Old Republic would clash with Imperial sympathizers who preferred the structured government of the Empire. It's easy to overlook, but you should remember that an entire generation of people were born under the Galactic Empire and only ever knew the Emperor's reign. It would make sense that these new Imperials would prefer what seemed to be an ordered empire to a chaotic democracy. Ultimately, the inefficiencies, lobbying, and other problems that you naturally have with a democracy would arise, and tensions would come to a boiling point within the Senate. Some Imperial sympathizers would secede from the New Republic, ultimately moving their territories back to Imperial rule and declare themselves to be a part of the First Order, officially claiming the existence of the government. Some within the New Republic would applaud this as a democratic action, showing the New Republic was not like the Galactic Empire and peace could exist between the two governments. Others, like General Leia Organa Solo, would be a sharp critic of the First Order, accusing the First Order of being a reskinned Galactic Empire that would not be able to live in peace with the New Republic itself. The First Order would begin to rebuild its shipyards and training facilities within the unknown regions, keeping itself largely shrouded from New Republic eyes. Knowing they were outmanned and outgunned, the First Order would move to make far superior technology than the Galactic Empire. In deep contrast to Imperial policy, First Order technology would be leagues better and put a heavier reliance on protecting the individual soldier and pilot than on mass production of the vehicle. In order to keep the New Republic off guard and ensure that it would be weakened from the inside out, the First Order would partner with a group of New Republic senators known as centrists. This was a faction within the New Republic that favored a strong central government. This faction would attempt to hold back legislation that would push for tighter controls and surveillance on the fledgling First Order. Ultimately, after several encounters with other senators who did not agree with a central government, including General Leia Organa, the centrists would begin legislation to secede from the New Republic and further bolster the ranks of the First Order. However, the First Order would find itself ill-equipped to handle the New Republic. In an attempt to gain the resources required to build a military that could challenge the New Republic's military, the First Order would help elevate minor crime syndicates into major warlords and then use their profits from galactic ventures to fund the military machine. The use of criminal syndicates by the First Order would almost be uncovered by General Leia, but she would be unable to completely connect the dots between the two. Even with her failure to connect the First Order and the criminal element, Leia still feared the First Order. She moved to create the Resistance as a paramilitary organization that would seek to expose the First Order and curb its military ambitions. Despite the warnings and preparations of Leia, most of the New Republic, including the upper echelons of the New Republic military and the civilian chancellorship, would regard the First Order as an inefficient government. They would consider the First Order something that wished to rekindle something that had been destroyed, that the First Order would never rise to the height of the Galactic Empire. This could be seen as an impotent New Republic would not react when the First Order would violate the agreement of the Galactic Concordance in its arms sales, building of capital ships, and small skirmishes between the First Order and New Republic forces. As the First Order's military buildup was becoming more and more apparent, Leia Organa Solo would once again push for the New Republic to take action. She would find herself expelled from the Senate in shame as her lineage was discovered, being the daughter of Darth Vader. Though even with this revelation, those who could see what she could, and many former military veterans disenfranchised from the continued New Republic disarmament, would help supply and bolster the resources of the Resistance, making it into a dangerous threat of the First Order. The Resistance would continue to have successful missions against the First Order, but be unable to provide undeniable evidence to the New Republic Senate and the military that the First Order was involved in a military buildup. In secret, the First Order would continue to make weapons of mass destruction. The First Order would make its first strike in retaking the galaxy when Starkiller Base would destroy the capital of the New Republic and a large majority of the New Republic's fleet that had been stationed there. No one had heeded the warnings of General Leia. And they paid the price. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this. If you haven't yet, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I am going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.